But I do want you to address some of those myths around that these alternative clouds are actually not as capable as the bigger players are.
That's the whole thing, is that because of the commoditization of the cloud, is a lot of these capabilities, there's no difference in my hardware necessarily, on a rack in a high-end data center versus what Amazon has on their rack in their data center. So just even the performance of the compute power is basically identical, if not just small variations. And then the power of the network is, if you have a global network set up like we do and some of the other alternative cloud providers, we're already scaling very, very easily for big Fortune 50 customers already. So that's not an issue. And as long as you have the necessary network in place and the peering relationships, which especially for Linode, we have a huge advantage. I mean, since we've been around since 2003, is that we've been able to create the necessary relationships and connections to be able to get anywhere in the world, and often have better performance than some of the hyperscalers that are out there. So that the fact that you're going to get better performance service from the big guys isn't necessarily the case, unless you have some really unique workload issue that you need their capability. So I think, and that's one of the big misconceptions, is that the hardware, the performance of the network is going to be different. I think one of the other issues that often comes up is one of the things we talked about before, which is, hey, I need to have this kind of specialized services that I can only get on Amazon. Well, in reality, most of those services are available through third parties. So it's pretty easy to be able to replicate everything that you would do on Amazon, often for much cheaper and without the lock-in. So that's the other benefit, is you want to really avoid going all in on these cloud providers, because that's what they want you to do. Of course, that's what their marketing would say, but don't buy into it, because then you're going to end up 6 months, a year, 2 years down the road going, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I have no way of kind of detangling myself from this infrastructure provider. Because as we saw with Google's announcement the other day, whether we believed it or not, but where they say, hey, if we're not number two, we're not going to continue offering cloud services. These big companies have all kinds of ulterior motives, ulterior businesses, lots of other things, other shiny objects that they're going to focus on. And whichever one they get the highest return is the one they're going to invest in. The ones that get less return, potentially cloud computing, where the margins are going to become less, things are going to become more commoditized. Therefore, it's not going to be as interesting from a shareholder value perspective than it currently is. So that's one of the things that I think we need to watch out for as the market evolves.